One of the things that are easily created on earth, as far as I'm concerned, is excuses. Excuses can be manufactured per second in hundreds because they easily come and they sound justifiable, especially when you ought to do something and you couldn't do it because you decided to create or make excuses. You see, people that make excuses easily look back and find out they can pick anything and anyone to blame except themselves. Someone says that the only thing standing between you and your goal is the story you keep telling people of why and how you cannot achieve it. You know, it's easy to give reasons for what you feel cannot be attainable because you feel you're not of the same size, your race, your gender, or your belief, or you do not have all that it takes that the other that has built that castle was able to have before he or she did it. But you see, some people call it sheer nonsense, and it's just what it is, excuse. No matter how old you are and how bent over or so unfortunate as you want to see yourself to be, there is no reason why you or cannot achieve what you want to achieve. You see, for every obstacle, there is always an opportunity. Just like for every opportunity, there is an obstacle. It depends on how you look at things and how you perceive those things. If you want to achieve it, you can do it. You know, someone also says that it's always either a half-filled bottle or a half-empty bottle. For those that see it from the perspective of being half-filled, all they see is that they know that it's a matter of some more water and then it is filled. But for those that do not see it as half-filled, they see it half-empty. What they are saying in essence is that I cannot, because I don't have the capability to fill that half part. But you see, once the journey has been embarked upon, especially when you get to the half, what that means is that you're already halfway done. Do not make excuses because no one does it for you except you. Excuses don't create themselves except one decides to create it. Even a blind man can see if he chooses not to see from the perspective that he or she is blind, because blindness would always be a perspective. They have an inner light that can tell them and they will see beyond what an ordinary eye can see. I've seen people without feet. I've seen people that literally all they can do with a part of their body is their mouth, yet they're one of the world's greatest artists. You know why they achieved what they have achieved? Because they did not choose to make excuse. They did not blame anyone. They did not blame their parents. They did not blame the circumstances. They did not blame their health or even the pharmaceuticals of this world that might have been the cause of their loss of their limbs or body. You see, we've seen people that crawl on their stomachs, yet are creative people because it's all about the mind. And yet I've seen people with hands, eyes, ears, mouth, a heart, 2 legs that are walking and still haven't met with anything or achieved anything in their lives. You know, they're those that I say they are perfect human examples of those that make excuses on why they cannot. A story is told, of course, in the good books talking about the man that was given a talent. Others were given 5, the other person was given 3. And he, because he got 1, felt that the one that gave them is one that you cannot deal with. And so he had to bury his talent. When the owner of the talents came, he asked him and he said, I know you're insufferable. I know you are such a man that is so difficult. Because if something had happened to it, it would become an issue. So I decided to bury. You know, the good man decided to do something which to me is so intriguing. Why would he take 1 talent that's been taken from one person to be given to the one that had 5 talents? But you know, over the years, as I meditated on that beautiful story, I realized that the one that had many didn't see it as being given so much work. He saw it from the perspective of oh, I have the ability and the space to do much more based on the giftings that I've been given. But the one that had one saw himself as being given just a little. That's how the Creator made us. We have nothing that is not within the capacity of our creativity. You are what you are based on the gifting you have, and then you can become much more if you are good at making greater things out of the little that you have. It's not because you have many that you become great. It is not also because you have a little that you become great. It is because you choose not to make excuse of whatever that you have in your hand. This life does not give you enough. It just gives you what you can start with in order to have enough and also have an abundant and overflowing one. The beauty of this Creator, He gave the richest man in the world 24 hours the same way He gave the poorest person on earth 24 hours. He gave the crippled 24 hours the same way He gave the one with everything in the part of his body 24 hours. What I feel the Creator is telling us as humans, that it is not about what you think you have in the physical, but what you have in your mind and what you perceive of yourself, being able to do much more than what you have around you. Excuses are always there for you to make if you choose to make it. But one of the things about them is that once you make them, they will definitely unmake you. Do not let yourself become an excuse builder or an excuses creator, or one that has a barrage of excuses ready to churn out whenever a challenge comes. Because challenges are always the pedestals that we stand upon in order for us to get to the next level. When you watch someone that is huddling, just recently, one of the world's greatest huddlers happens to have come from Nigeria, and she made a statement. She said, unknown to the world as at 2016, but she said, I would become unforgettable. She had gone to different tournaments and never came with any medal, but she kept pushing because she had that medal in her heart that one day I'll be the world's greatest. She had an opportunity to create an excuse for herself and say, I have done all I can and I have tried my best, and my best has given me just nothing. I might as well retire. But she told herself, for not getting a medal in past tournaments is enough excuse, if at all. She built one to make me strive to make it better. If you must make an excuse at all, let it be the excuse of what should spur you into the next goal for your life. Albert Einstein understood what it is to be a failure. But today we talk about him. There's hardly any book that you don't, in science, that you don't talk about him. He didn't see an excuse that was facing right in the eyes and he refused to accept it. Instead, he shut his eyes to it and chose to be a better person. Do not make excuses. In fact, crumble the mountain of excuses that you have had stored behind you, ready to give people or as reasons for your failures. Because failure is just a way of telling you to do it in another way. Do not make excuses. They hinder growth. God bless you.